can you please do it?
Yes,
Thank you so
let's start.
much. So thank you so much once again for being present. So we have prepared here today some special question regarding the new cycle for FEM 4.0 for your guidance and awareness in the new cycle of verification. So my name is Sandra Teixeira, and as background, I have a chemical engineering degree in process and energy management, and also a master's degree in energy engineering from Portugal. I have more than 22 years of experience in the textile sector. 11 of those years were spent in the industrial field of wet process. From the several roles that I have had over the years, there is involvement in the research field during my master degree, quality assurance, development of new products, team management in a Portuguese retail brand, and as well as chemical sales engineer. During the past few years, I have been performing audits in several European countries, including water, energy assessment, as well chemical risk assessments. So for today, as agenda, we are welcoming the introduction to LES, introduction from FEM 4.0, some sections for some questions for section 1 related to information and permits, section 2 environmental management system. Also here we have selected a few questions to be addressed today, and also added value in implementing FEM and additional information about leadership and sustainability. And at the end of this session we will have questions and discussion. So our CEO, Karin Ekberg, has more than 35 years of work experience and performance at corporate strategic level and at the facility level. She was the head of environmental services at Adidas, also as sustainability director at ASA Abloy, and as LES stands out from the crowd by a system approach coupled with manufacturing knowledge and driving to create change and measurable results. We are Higg FEM and FSLEM verifiers and trainings. In these below links, you can find out more information about Karin's profile and the reference. Also, I would like to call your attention that this webinar the audience will be muted during the webinar in order to ensure audio quality, but please feel free to address and send your questions during the presentation via the Q&A function and not the chat that is here in the below bar, and all your questions will be addressed at the end of the session. Also, it will be follow up an email with the provided link and the records for this webinar, and the link, of course, to download this presentation at the end. Also note, please, that these materials are copyrighted by SAC, and also leadership and sustainability. Please don't share those outside your organization. These are for all your usage only. So today, as Higg FEM 4.0 questions that we have prepared, and introduction to SAC, that was the former name. Now SAC has rebranded the name and is called now Cascale. Here we have covered some topics that are related to the improvement from FEM 3.0 to FEM 4.0, and they started to address these questions in mid-2020, using as base all the questions and issues that were raised by the previous cycles of verification. And the idea is to align with the most recent industry standards and best practices. You can find the technical paper available here in the link, as well the How to Higg Guide 4.0 also here in the link available. Please note that the module for FEM 2023 verification will be available at the beginning, is available from the beginning of November 2023. And here we can see the Higg FEM cycle of verification. As I referred, the purchase is available from November 2023 until October 2024. So during this period, you can purchase your modules, but this will be ended until the end of it will be ended until the end of 2024. So the assessment can be performed from January, or the verification can be performed from January 2024 until April 2024. Also note that until April 30, it's possible to post and unpost your models, but after the April 30, only one-time posting is possible. And once the facility begins to verify a module, the module cannot be unposted. Unlimited posting or unposting does not apply to 2023 FEM at any time. So the verified models can only be posted once. As I referred in the beginning, SAC has rebranded and is now Cascale, and Cascale is an independent and impact-creating organization that aims to catalyze collective action towards an equitable and restorative consumer goods industry. This will be achieved aligning our global community around shared goals, developing and executing joint solutions, and leading the acceleration of impact at scale with our strategic partners. So Cascale stands for Collective Action and Scale, and is the inverse acronym of SAC, and they keep this for historic purposes. And here you can see the new brand, or the new logo for Cascale. Higg FEM 4.0 new questions, and here we can see the trail for all the sections that are covered in the FEM verification: site information and permits, environmental management system, energy and greenhouse gas emissions, water use, wastewater, air emissions, waste, and chemical management. All these topics will be covered during the verification of the FEM 4.0. So for the section 1, site and information permits, we have selected some questions that will be interesting for you to retain from here. So one of the new questions added in this section is on-site water treatment. Does your facility have on-site water treatment, pre-treatment, and or wastewater treatment? And if you reply yes, a sub-question will pop out. How many employees are engaging to the operation and regular maintenance of the water treatment processes? Another question here related to the info and permit is the facility's greenhouse gas emissions included in the border corporate disclosure? So here the idea is to understand if you are disclosing your greenhouse gas emissions against any standard. And a few options will be appearing to be selected in the Worldly platform. So you can reply what reporting platform are you using, if there is CDP, corporate website, or sustainability report, or any other platform that you may be using, or even a brand standard that you are reporting against. So you here should describe in the most detailed as possible which is the standard that you are using, and also as suggested uploads for this disclosure greenhouse emission. Here you should upload your greenhouse emission report or a copy to the link where you are having this information or platform. So this part is really interesting for you to have a track, and will give you a more wider idea how are you in terms of greenhouse emissions and the amount of greenhouse emissions that you will are emitting to the environment. So the next section and that we'll cover today will be environmental management system, and a few questions are selected to be spoken about today. And the environmental management system is divided through levels, questions for level 1, questions for level 2, and questions for level 3. As in the previous Higg FEM verification cadence, but here in bold are highlighted all the new questions that were introduced in this section, environmental management system, and we can see that are 3 new questions that were added, and they are all belonging to level 1 questions. So this means that will be also verified here. Sorry. So as level 1 questions, there is a big focus from FEM 4.0 in employee training. So one of the questions is, does your facility provide training to employees or environmental awareness and company environmental management strategy? So here the idea is really to understand how your employees are trained, and if they are really aware about the task they should be engaged in the environmental management system. As sub-question, if you reply yes to the employee training, you will be asked how many employees were trained. If yes, how frequently do you train your employees? How do you evaluate your employees after the training? And how do you evaluate the knowledge of your employees after this training? So here you should also be aware that different levels of training may be provided based on employees' position or responsibilities, and as suggested uploaded, it's important that you have on hand and you keep records of the documentation that can demonstrate facilities as conducted these trainings. So as example, you can have the planned training, identifying the training schedules and the type of trainings that all levels of employees have been involved, all the training records and attendance records with or a form where or a list of the trainees and where they can sign their names, all the training materials that were used for environmental trainings and which are the topics that were covered during this training. So how after the training can evaluate the procedures and the records. How do you evaluate that the trainings are effective and you and your staff or workers are really aware and they know the content that was delivered during the training. So all these should be kept in records in order after to be for you to be able to evidence these topics in the Worldly platform. Another question that we have prepared today also for the environmental management system level one is related to groundwater, soil and groundwater contamination, and is also a new addition to FEM 4.0, and is really important. And the question is, can you please confirm there is no soil and groundwater contamination at your facility? So here, if you reply that yes, you should have the sub-questions that you need to describe how your facility prevents such contamination, which kind of actions and measures you have in place in order to prevent this soil and groundwater contamination. Is your facility remediating and or having you remediating the issue? In case you had any soil and groundwater contamination, if you have this remediation done, and which actions did you take? Also, you should upload all the documentations, photographs, reports, action plan, and legal notice if it was the case. So you should also keep all these records in order to be verified during the assessment. So, and also please describe the contamination in detail and the origin in the case you have any issue in your facility regarding the soil and water contamination. As I referred, the suggested uploads documentation showing that no contamination at the facility sites, like soil and groundwater investigation reports that you may have, and the current environmental impact assessment also could be proof as evidence for this no groundwater and soil contamination. So this is a very important part that was added now in the environmental management system. Also, you should include all the remediation activities that you've taken, like the records of spill response, the cleanup activities, or the procedures that you have in place in order to address these issues, which are the remediation action plans and the post-cleaning up investigations in order to understand the impact of your spill in case you have this issue inside your facility. So it's really important to keep all track of all the actions and measures that you have taken or you have in place in your facility in order to avoid these situations to occur in your installations. So the added value by implementing Higg FEM. Also, before we go into this section, I would like also to highlight that this year Higg FEM 4.0 only be verified a core set of verification questions that are from level 1 questions. So means that you still can verify and address all your all the questions in the Higg FEM in the Worldly platform, but only questions from level 1 and quantitative metrics will be verified. So just for you to be aware, you will the score will not be full score because only level 1 questions and quantitative quantitative data questions will be verified for the FEM 4.0, just for you to understand.
Sandra, sorry.
Yes, yes.
This is Karen here. Sorry to interrupt you. May I add that for the scores that will be calculated for the facilities, they will receive their verified scores plus their additional self-assessment scores.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for that input, Karin. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So regarding the added value for implementing the Higg FEM, so sorry, I jumped up. So here we can see where LES team is placed around the world, where you can find some of our verifiers, sorry. Also local experts that are placed in Bangladesh, China, Egypt, Germany, India, Indonesia, Pakistan, Romania, Tunisia, Turkey, and Vietnam. And is missing here also Portugal, that will be me. For the moment, I need to update this sheet also. And here you can find our sales contact. We have Karin as our global contact sales. For Europe, we have Farouk, Europe, Americas, and Africa. Bangladesh, we have Golam Mutakabir. We have for Pakistan, Ahmed But, India, Sanjay, Vietnam and Cambodia, we have Bien Vu, Simon for China, and Turkey, we have Sheyung. So you feel free to contact us if you will need our support for the verification or any issue. Also, you can find out our previous presentation and webinar records in our website that can give you some more detail regarding the Higg FEM protocol and process. So you can see here step by step, and other important webinars or information that are placed in our website. So also please stay tuned, because we are always updating our website with new interesting topics and subjects. So please feel free to search. Also here you can find our team and the link to our website and our email, our contact email. So now we are open for any questions that you may have regarding the presented questions here. Sorry, just let me stop share my screen so I can easily see your questions that were addressed here. Yes, the questions here is, are only level 1 will be verified by FEM 4.0? Yes, the questions is this core set of questions that will be verified, and these only include level 1 questions and quantitative data questions. So yes, for this 2023 verification data, only question level 1 will be verified. What do you do? For environmental, what I mean, for environmental awareness that we do for the employees. I don't understand very well which this second question, but can you please rephrase, or is there any question that you will like to address today? I don't know if here when you ask for environmental awareness, what we do for the employees. So here you should create programs or train them according about your self-assessment, which score based on 3 levels assessment will not be comparable. Yes, as Karin referred also, you will have the score for the verification and the score for the self-assessment. That the score for the verification for these 2023 data, they cannot be comparable with the score that you have achieved in the previous verifications for Higg FEM, because for this verification, only level 1 core set of questions will be verified. So yes, it's not comparable, because previously we have been verified all the questions for Higg FEM. Provide guidelines for wastewater treatment to be carried out and procedure to gather financial support for the same. We can try to cover this topic regarding the question, could you help to provide guidelines for wastewater treatment to be carried out and procedure to gather financial support for the same? We can cover this topic in the next session that we will have regarding wastewater treatment and the section for wastewater.
This is Karen again. So there are
Yes.
guidelines from ZDHC for wastewater treatment that are really helpful, and we could add a link to these guidelines. They are really helpful. They explain what type of different wastewater treatment technologies that are around. And regarding the procedure to gather financial support, this is a much more complex question, and this is a question that really depends on the facility and the local authorities, etc. And it's a bit more difficult for us to respond to such a question in this setting.
Yeah. Only you discussed the question of FEM. How can we know another questions of EMS? You can, in this case, you can assess also for our platform, where we are having our e-learn platform, where we have the course step by step, covering all the questions, all the new questions that are added in the Higg FEM. For our side also, you can always have the how to get guidance, but if you will like more detailed information, you can have this awareness and knowledge throughout our e-learn platform, where you can find this course and many more related to Higg FEM, covering all the topics.
I think we can add one link to the e-learning platform.
Okay.
Into the deck, please.
Yes, sure. In the documents that you are going to receive, you will have also this link for the e-learning platform.
Okay, next question is it compulsory to evaluate the employees who have been trained? And yes, regarding all the different training questions you have in the Higg FEM, there is also a question about if you have evaluated how effective the training was. So yes, in that sense, if you want to score there, you will need to respond to that question.
Exactly.
And then we have another question here. Does your facility have a company environmental management strategy that guides long-term decision-making on environmental management? So this means long-term strategy. Yes, according to How to Higg, this means that you need to have at least 3 years of perspective in your strategy.
Which type, like cut, which types let cut to pack factory in facility type? This is a sub-assembly process, cut to pack. Is that correct? Water treatment is the same as wastewater treatment. Depends. Wastewater treatment is the water resulting from processes or domestic use, and water treatment can be pre-treatment that you are performing to your water before it's being used in the process. So water treatment usually is a pre-treatment for the fresh water or gray water that you are using at your facility, and you need to pre-treat it in order to be able to be used accordingly in your processes. And wastewater treatment is always treatment to wastewater resulting from using domestic or industrial purposes. What is oral evaluation? Is that oral evaluation okay for the verification process? Photocopy is attached for verification process? Oral evaluation. Here in this question, you are addressing the question for the training, correct? If is that, yes, if you are able to understand from our evaluation that your employees are able to show you that they are aware about the tasks and the topics covered during the training, yes, but you should have a way to record also that evaluation in order to be evidence to during the verification process. Evaluator engage with your absence by the It's energy assessment from our bias 1S. We will get this PPT after the you will receive this PPT after the session using your emails that you have assigned to this webinar. And I don't think I just want to explain about water treatment scope 5 plus. The responder. Water treatment scope 5 waste water.
Sandra, which question are you looking at right now?
I'm seeing this. Could you, dear Sandra, don't you think that the response as explained about water treatment disqualifies wastewater treatment at that stage? I'm trying to understand what is
Okay.
meant here.
Yes.
I stopped a little bit more, trying to understand
Perhaps
here.
you can ask the person who asked this question to explain a bit more. I also don't understand exactly what is meant.
Yeah. Could you please elaborate at the stage of EMS? Responsive. Related to the water or wastewater treatment? Is that what you mean? I don't understand.
Okay, let's wait for some
Also,
more explanations. Are all other
yes,
questions?
here is another one. Could you help to elaborate the question if the facility evaluator engage with upstream suppliers using Higg index or other relevant environmental assessment in energy assessment from our buyer is one of the answer?
Well, I can respond to that question. The question about evaluating or engaging with your upstream suppliers using the Higg index or other relevant environmental assessment, the energy assessment is of course only focusing on one of the environmental impact categories, so that would not be enough. It should be something that covers several environmental impact categories, and at best then the Higg FEM, for example.
I think we don't have any more questions for the moment.
Yes, there is here an explanation when answering in the platform. One is looking at both waters. Yes, so in the site info, there is a question about the water, and there you are supposed to respond both related to freshwater treatment and to wastewater treatment. And then, of course, you also have your section about water and you have your section about the wastewater later. But in the site info section, you should include all types of treatments that you have.
Yeah. I think for the moment, let's see. Okay. There is no more questions for today. Then if there is no more questions, we will finish this session, and I would like to thank you all for attending to this, and we will send you via the email that you have used for inscribing yourself the documents and the PPT that we have shared with you today. So thank you for all being here, and once more, and have a good day or afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.